Good morning, everyone. It's a cold, rainy, windy, and kind of all around miserable morning here on the Arizona-California border. I'm in Arizona right now. That, on the other side of the Colorado River, is California. I've been in Arizona and this surrounding area, so the California desert and southern Nevada, for about a week and a half, and I'm done. I'm ready to head back home to Wyoming. But instead of just driving up to Las Vegas and then going on the interstate to get home, I'm gonna take some back roads across Arizona, some highways across Arizona, and then go up from the eastern side of Arizona. So I'm on the western border of Arizona here, and we're gonna be going to the eastern border of Arizona with the border with New Mexico in this video. So in this video, I'm gonna drive about, 500 miles across Arizona. I'm gonna be avoiding interstates. I'm gonna be driving all on back roads. This should be a lot of fun. And we're gonna be starting off this adventure by driving about 150 miles on Route 66, which is this road that you can see right here. This goes off to the north in this direction. And our first stop of the day is an old mining town that's about 30 or 35 minutes away. But I wanted to show you guys a couple of things from this spot. So this is I-40 right here, Interstate 40. And this bridge right here, the one that's kind of arched, this used to be the Route 66 bridge across the Colorado River. It's now a pipeline bridge. It's been converted into a pipeline bridge. But I just wanted to point that out. I also wanted to point out the just incredible grouping of mountains right there. It looks like something out of a fantasy novel. Those are the Needles. And that's what the town of Needles, California, which is nearby, is named after. Just insane. I'm definitely gonna have to come back and explore those mountains more in the future. But for now, let's hop in the car and let's drive on Route 66. Let's get our kicks on Route 66 to an old little mining town up in the mountains. Welcome everyone to the beautiful little mining town of Oatman, Arizona. What a spectacular place. And the weather is not great, but right now it makes everything look really, really dramatic. What an amazing little spot. So Oatman was a gold mining town founded in 1915, so relatively recent. Oatman is, I think, one of the two best old mining towns in Arizona to visit, and I think we'll be going to the other one later today. And if not, if I for some reason bypass it, I'll tell you about it later, but for now we'll keep it a secret. And Oatman is known for its wild burros, its wild donkeys that roam the area. I passed a couple coming into town. I don't see any around here now, but usually they're just like wandering around. And that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna wander around town, and I'll give you guys a quick look at what this town looks like. I like Oatman because it still feels a little bit crusty. It feels old. It hasn't been restored to within an inch of its life like Tombstone has, for example. It still looks and feels like an old mining town. And of course we have historic US 66 painted on the road here. I'll give you one last shot before we take off. And it's important to note that this trip that I'm doing across the state is not a greatest hits of Arizona. For example, I'm not going to be going to the Grand Canyon, I'm not going to Sedona, I'm not going to a lot of places. The things I'm going to be stopping and seeing and showing you guys are just things that I want to stop and see and show you guys. Nothing more than that. And so on that note, let's keep driving. We've got a lot of ground to cover. This trip's going to be about a day and a half long, and so I'd like to get as much of that drive done today as possible, but we'll see. Good to stretch a little bit. Feels good to stretch the whole body, stretch the legs. Been driving for a while now, but let's continue this conversation inside because it's still raining. It's 1:15 now. I left the Colorado River this morning at 8, and it's been going well. We transitioned from Mojave Desert, lower elevation, relatively arid, to this, which is high desert, relatively high elevation. Let me check to see how high we are here. We are at 4,249 feet. And I don't know the population of, or the elevation of where we were at the Colorado River, but I'll put that on the screen. And so it's gotten colder. It's still raining. It's been raining nonstop, literally nonstop since we left Oatman a couple hours ago. And so we have kind of a different landscape out here. This is, again, less raw desert and more high desert with the pinyon juniper trees, which you can see a little bit out to my left here. And that yellow grass is pretty typical for this area. I figure I've gone about a third of the way across Arizona at this point, and it's been on Route 66 the entire time, and it ends at the interstate. So the interstate, as I'm sure you could see and hear when I was outside, is just right in front of me here. The original plan was to cover the 7 miles from here to the next highway that I want to take by going on back roads, like dirt roads in this area. There is no non-interstate highway or paved road that goes from here for the next 7 miles. Because Route 66 ends here and most people just get on the interstate to go these next 7 miles. I was going to go on some dirt roads to try to like go around this section of interstate, but you know, I'm not going to bother. It's been raining for so long, it's probably wet and super muddy out there. So forgive me, I will be taking 7 miles of interstate on this trip. But yeah, I think it'll be okay. One thing that may or may not be okay is a car issue that I just noticed. I just turned the car back on and you'll notice a whole lot of warning lights are on. We have a brake light on the far right, VSC off, VSC track, ABS. And I don't have my seatbelt on, so that's why that one on the left is blinking. And so that's a little bit of an issue. There is a known issue with this generation of Land Cruiser. So this is a 100 series Land Cruiser. This is a year 2000 model. It's an old car, and there's an issue where I think it's the seal around the sunroof here can leak. And when there's a lot of rain, like we've been experiencing for the last several hours, water runs down through, I think it's like through this, and messes up some sensors somewhere down below. I don't know, but I've seen a couple of people mention that on the Land Cruiser forums, and so I'm pretty sure that's what's going on. I expect that if or when we dry out here, sorry, this isn't level. If or when we dry out, those will go away. But I don't know that for sure. Like, I'm not a mechanic. I don't know exactly what's going on. And so I'm going to continue with the plan. So these lights turned on just as I was pulling into this little roadside gravel pullout. They haven't been on for long. I'm going to keep driving. I'm going to take the interstate here for the 7 miles to the other highway that I'm going to take south to the town of Prescott, which is about an hour and a half away. I like Prescott. It's a nice little town, and I haven't been there for a few years, so I just want to drive through really quick, show you guys briefly, roughly what it looks like, and then get some lunch there probably. And hopefully the old cruiser here, the old girl, will make it there without any problems. Hopefully the brakes will still work. I guess we'll find out. Wish me luck. Okay, I made it to Prescott without dying. My brakes worked just fine. Everything seems to be working fine. It's just that those lights are on, which is worrisome, but we're just gonna soldier on here and hope everything works out in the short term. And I've come to Watson Lake. This is one of the more, I'd say, well-known and photogenic places in this part of Arizona. It's kind of a symbol of Prescott. It is a man-made lake. It's a reservoir nestled amongst these beautiful granite boulders. Isn't that pretty? And once again, the weather is not great. But if it were a beautiful blue sky day, then I think that would really, it would really make this place pop. As it is now, it's all kind of gray, like everything is kind of gray. But beautiful, beautiful place. I've now driven about 10 minutes into downtown Prescott, and I wanted to give you guys a look because it's a pretty it's a pretty place. It's attractive. It's got some old brick buildings. So Prescott was an old mining town, a gold and silver mining town. It was also the territorial capital before Arizona became a state. I think it was a couple times in the 1800s. So it does have some history to it, and that is reflected a little bit in some of the in this downtown area. Yeah, to me it's hard to beat these old downtowns of some older American cities in the West that have these brick buildings. I love it. So this mountain over here is Thumb Butte. It's another famous Prescott landmark, another kind of symbol of Prescott, as is this next spot we're going to, that I'm going to walk to, that's just around the corner over here. Right in the middle of the downtown area is this. This is the Yavapai County Courthouse, and across the street from that, this row of historic brick buildings is called Whiskey Row, because back in the day when this was a rowdy gold mining town, this place was full of saloons. And it still is to some extent. I think there are a few bars here, and an art gallery, a pizza place, some souvenir shops. Yeah, there's a saloon right there, Matt's Saloon. So anyway, if you search for things to do in Prescott, this is gonna come up. I am hungry. I passed a drive-through chicken and waffle place about 5 minutes back that way. I think I'm gonna stop there for a quick bite to eat. And then I'm gonna drive for another couple hours, I think. I don't really have any other stops planned. As you can see, the weather is still terrible. It's still raining. It might be snowing as I get into the higher elevations, but I don't know. I don't know when I'll meet back up with you guys, but I'll keep you posted. We're about an hour outside of Prescott now. Surprise, surprise, it's still raining. We went up and over the mountain and it was snowing up there. I don't know if you guys could tell that in the time-lapse GoPro footage, but it's just raining down here. Here being Jerome, which I think is one of the coolest little old mining towns in the country. I mentioned this morning that Oatman was a really awesome mining town in Arizona, and this one, Jerome, is the second. It is just perched on the side of a mountain, and it's kind of hard to convey that right now. Like, I can't fly the drone because it's raining, and I don't really want to wander around too much because it's raining and we're running short on daylight. I still have miles to cover, but I'll show you a little bit of the town. Jerome was once known as the wickedest town in the West. It was a lawless mining town, home to lots of boozing and brothels and that sort of thing. And today, it's known mostly as just a really funky, really neat tourist town. And there's one little attraction in particular that's pretty weird that I want to show you guys. This is the famous sliding jail of Jerome. So this is a jail cell that used to belong to a building 200 or 300 feet up the hill, but in the 1930s, with continued blasting in the area for mining purposes, it detached and it slowly slid down the mountain and settled right here. Apparently the road here, or whatever road was here, had to be rerouted to go around the jail cell. You know what this town kind of feels like to me? This feels like the rough Old West version of those towns in Italy or Greece that are like on the side of a mountain and the buildings are kind of staggered down the mountain, very narrow winding roads. This is as close as America has to that sort of thing. It's just little switchbacks, very tight switchbacks going down the mountain, and the rows of buildings are just lined up on either side. It's so neat. It's now 5 o'clock, and that means I have about 45 minutes of daylight left. That's it. So I'm gonna run back to the car and basically just drive as far as I can until I can't drive anymore, until it's too dark. And then I'm hopefully gonna find a campsite, hopefully somewhere on, I think, national forest land that's in this general area. So wish me luck, and I'll see you at camp. It's been a long day, but we finally made it to camp. It's dark. Well, just about dark. The sun has already set. And of course, it's still raining. I just heard some thunder. Nice mountain views. This road out here goes along this ridge, and there are a bunch of campsites along it. I passed probably 4 or 5 other people camped closer to the main highway. We are just about settled in for the night, and it feels good. I've been going, let's see, I got up at like 6 o'clock this morning, so it feels good to finally be at rest. And I can't believe how rainy it was today. It rained on me for like 8 hours straight. That's just crazy. I thought Arizona was supposed to be the desert. Whatever happened to that? It's not even the monsoon season. It's the middle of winter, and I got rained on all day. So not great luck, not great timing. on my part, but we survived. It was fine. I am actually almost exactly in the geographical middle of the state. Let me show you. I don't know if you guys will be able to see this on my phone, but this is Google Maps showing the state of Arizona. It's like focused on Arizona. And can you see that dot right in the middle? That is me. I am literally in the middle of Arizona. And so I'll have a few hours to do, or a few hours of driving to do tomorrow. I'm not going to do as much stopping tomorrow, so I think it should be fine. I'd like to get to the New Mexico border by midday, because I'll still have several hours of driving to do beyond that to get closer to home. But yeah, good day. There are a couple other things that I wanted to mention. First off, all of those warning lights that were on the dash, those had turned off by the time I got to Prescott. It was really just before that, in that super, super heavy rain, that all those lights went on, and I haven't seen them since, so that's good. And then second, I did go to that chicken and waffles place in Prescott for dinner, and I got, it was like chicken tikka masala and waffles. Pretty interesting, definitely a unique combination, but I enjoyed it. But we're not done yet. Well, I'm done for tonight, but this video is going to continue into tomorrow. In this video, we are going to make it to the New Mexico border. So hopefully, when I wake up in the morning and when I start filming again, I don't know if that'll be here at camp or if we'll be already on the road, but whenever I start filming again, I hope that the rain will have stopped, but I guess we'll find out. I'll see you in the morning. Good morning, everyone. We made it through the night. It rained all night. It's currently not raining, but we'll see if that holds. I got probably 8 or 9 hours of sleep last night, so I'm feeling pretty good. It's 7:30 right now. I'm ready to start the day. I am excited about today's driving. This first section especially, I've never done before. All of yesterday's drive I had done before in various at various stages at various times. But right now, I'm outside of the town of Camp Verde, and between here and Winslow, I've never done that drive before, this mountain drive. I think it's just going to be a drive. I don't have any stops planned. But it should be some pretty scenic driving through the pine forests, I think. And it'll get up to about 7,500 feet, I think. And that's about the elevation we got up to yesterday where we were in the snow. So I expect to see some snow today. Hopefully it won't be snowing on us, but you know, we'll take whatever comes. About 25 minutes into the drive this morning, and it has been raining basically the entire time. Ever since I left camp, it's been raining, and now it is snowing in earnest. It's beautiful though, isn't it? I don't know if I've actually ever been properly snowed on in Arizona. When I'm here in the winter, I'm usually in the western part, the drier, lower elevation, warmer part. And when I'm here in summer, I'm in the mountains, but it's summer, so it's not snowing. So this is kind of a novel experience for me. We are heading further up the road this way. We have another, I think, 300 or 400 feet of elevation to gain. So the roads so far are okay. It's relatively warm. I think it's probably about freezing, maybe a little bit above freezing even down here where I am. Yeah, 33 degrees right now, and we are just over 7,000 feet in elevation. This thing is super cool. It's an altimeter that I have rigged up so that it's magnetized, like you can remove it. Really fun little accessory. Not at all necessary, but it's fun to have to check in periodically. I do have to kind of calibrate it once a day. I do that every morning, but it's a pretty cool little accessory. And we have a properly snowy road now, so we are going to be driving a little bit more carefully here. Well, it looks like we've finally outrun the rain, at least temporarily. There's a little bit of blue sky showing and the sun is shining, finally. I am in Winslow, Arizona, and this place is known for basically two things. First is the meteor crater that's to the west of town. That's pretty cool, but it's expensive. It's like $30 to go visit. I've been there once before, and I would go again if it were free, but it's not free, and so I'm not gonna go again. And the second thing it's known for is a line from a song by the Eagles. And the line goes, "Well, I was standing on a corner in Winslow, Arizona." So that's what we're here to see. We're here to go see the corner. The song is called "Take It Easy." And so here we are standing on a corner in Winslow, Arizona. We've got this fella here with a guitar and the little sign that says "Standing on the Corner." And let me show you the rest of the town here. That's about all there is to say about this guy and about the corner here. We've got a giant Route 66 sign in the middle of the intersection. We have a Standing on the Corner store right there. And we have, let's see, a Take It Easy souvenir and gift shop. So lots of Eagles themed stuff. There's the Eagles song, there's a song playing on the radio over there. I think it's Desperado by the Eagles. And yeah, cool little town. There's not a whole lot here, but it's a pleasant little stop. Nice spot to stretch the legs for a little bit. I just ran into the Walmart here in Winslow. Got myself a little Caesar salad for breakfast. I also got Reese's Caramel Big Cup. Reese's is just going crazy lately. I've never seen a caramel one before, so I got that to try. I'll let you guys know how it goes. From here, the end is in sight, guys. I think we're about 2 hours from the border the way I want to go. There is one stop that I want to see along the way that's about half an hour north of here. So let's reconvene there after I eat this. And we have arrived after an easy half-hour drive at the Little Painted Desert, which is a great name for this colorful set of desert badlands here. In nearby Petrified Forest National Park, there's an area called the Painted Desert, so I guess that's why they called this the Painted Desert. Beautiful tans and oranges and purples and browns. This is just a little roadside stop. The main highway is out here. There are some kind of covered pavilions, but they look to be kind of in rough shape. Lots of graffiti and trash over there. And then looking in the other direction, you can kind of make out some mountains on the horizon. Those are the San Francisco peaks. Those are the highest mountains in Arizona. Those are over by Flagstaff. But we're going kind of in the opposite direction. We're going to continue going north and east. We have about an hour and a half or an hour and 45 minutes of driving to do to get to the Arizona-New Mexico border over there. We're getting close, guys, and I'm excited. Almost the entire drive is going to be on the Navajo Nation, which starts just a couple miles north of where I am right now. And I don't really have any stops planned between here and there. And so I'm just going to put the GoPro on top of the car and do some time-lapse driving as we travel through the Navajo Nation so you can get an overview of what the area generally looks like. We did it, guys. I made it to New Mexico. The weather is just atrocious. The Arizona-New Mexico border is like 100 feet over here. The actual border itself isn't marked. But I wanted to come to this particular spot because just a mile or two over in that direction is something that I want to see. This particular border itself, you know, it's whatever. But the thing that's over there is what I want to show you guys. Going back into Arizona now, that sign said Arizona state line. I've now doubled back into Arizona. I'm in a town called Window Rock. And the town is named for this very large and beautiful natural arch in front of me. And this is really the reason for this entire trip. Like, I wanted to drive across Arizona, and I've known about this place for years, and I've never been here before because it's pretty out of the way. And so I thought, you know what? If I'm driving across Arizona, I might as well end it here. This is the rock itself. This is the arch itself. This is what gives the town of Window Rock its name. And interestingly, Window Rock, the town, is actually the capital of the Navajo Nation. I'm in a little park right now, but just over there on the other side of the parking lot are a bunch of government offices. And I believe this is considered a sacred site to the Navajo. And it's one of the places that I think it's the medicine men gather water from for rain dances. I think I read that online, so pretty interesting. And there's one more interesting thing in this park that I want to see before we finally wrap it up. This is a monument to the Navajo code talkers who played an important part in World War II. They devised a code based on the Navajo language that the Japanese couldn't break. So that was an important part of American war communication during the war. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in on this, and you guys can pause it if you want to read the full thing. And that's gonna wrap it up, guys. It is snowing pretty heavily now. I don't know if you can see it out through the windows here, but I still have a lot of driving to do, but this video is done. We did it. We drove across Arizona, and I hope you enjoyed seeing some interesting things along the way and just getting an overview of what Arizona is like when you drive from west to east. You know, we started out in the low desert, got up into the high desert, got up into the pines and the higher elevation areas, and then we got into the high desert again, but a different kind of like red rock desert out here. Arizona is great, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. One other thing that I wanted to mention real quick that has no bearing on anything else that we've been talking about is that caramel Reese's was good, but not amazing. They haven't improved on the original Reese's, in my opinion. So in case you were wondering what my thoughts were on that, there you go. From here, I'm going to drive toward Moab in eastern Utah, which is, I think, 4 or 5 hours away. I don't think I'll get there today, but I'll camp somewhere in eastern Utah. And then tomorrow I'll have like 6 or 7 hours of driving to do over a couple of mountain ranges to get back home. So cross your fingers for me. Hopefully I can make it. Hopefully everything goes well. But this trip was great. Thanks again for watching. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Be sure to check out Adventure Know-How, my new site, where you can gain access to a map of all of my free campsites, plus monthly bonus videos that you won't find anywhere else. Learn more at adventureknowhow.com. And for links to everything else SUV RVing related, visit suvrving.com. Links to these sites and more will be in the video description.